What's up, everybody, and welcome back to episode number 36 of the HMA Fantasy Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Jacob Hughley, and I am joined today by my awesome co-hosts, Seth Gross and Earl Smith. Jack might be jumping on at some point. You know, Jack likes to oversleep, but maybe we'll get him, maybe we won't. Either way, how you doing today, Earl?
Good. RBY's not sleeping. RBY's ready to go. No. I was hoping Jack was on because I was going to say how I got a good workout in this morning. I wanted to be like Steve Garland and work so hard I pee my pants, but apparently that didn't happen.
Yeah. I was on a call with him, with Coach Garland and Jack yesterday talking about some stuff. And that dude is awesome, man. He is energy, like just energy. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, getting off a phone call with him, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go run like 100 miles right now. It's insane. But, yeah. Seth, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Got up this morning, got a little run in, and, I've been chilling, man. It's been a good week, and, can't complain.
Sweet. Good deal, man. Well, the main topic for this one we're going to eventually get to is we kind of, instead of having like a huge month-long thing like we've been doing, trying to break down a little bit here and there and do some shorter topics. And so today we're going to get to talking about kind of the GOAT debate. Who's the GOAT of college wrestling? Originally, I had two guys written down, but it looks like we have a whole bunch of other people that should be thrown in the conversation, which I think is pretty cool. But before we get there, just some stuff to go over to talk about that happened in the wrestling world lately. First thing, I'm going to actually throw it back to Seth because I saw that the Wisconsin RTC came out with a pretty cool fundraiser. So do you want to tell us a little bit about that, Seth?
Yeah. The Wisconsin RTC is running a big fundraiser in the month of August, and it's called Cardio for a Cause. So it's pretty cool. It's about, there's a lot of things been going on with in the wrestling community as far as, women's wrestling and black athletes in wrestling. And, we're doing it just to bring attention to that. And we're raising money for the Black Wrestling Association, and then USA Wrestling, we're teaming up and giving money that they're going to put towards women's wrestling. So, it's pretty cool, right? You get put a team together, and then throughout the month of August, you try to get 500 miles with your team, and you can run, walk, bike, jog, kind of do whatever you want, but try to get 500 miles with the team up to 10. So, hopefully you can get a decent amount of people on your team because 500 is a little tough to do on your own, but so it's just about bringing attention to it, and it's been picked up by local news channels here, and so it's been a pretty good thing. And I think it was a great idea by the Wisconsin RTC.
For sure. Yeah, that sounds really cool. Definitely gonna have to look into doing that. I know we got a bunch of dudes over with the HMA crew, so hopefully I won't have to do as much work as I would with a smaller group. But yeah, no, that sounds really cool, man. I saw that it was on the news the other day, and all that kind of stuff. So
Johnny's been killing it out there. He's been getting it out there, getting on a whole bunch of news platforms. So it's been good.
Yeah, for sure. It's always cool to see wrestling or wrestling related things on the news, just mainstream media.
Yeah.
But for good reasons too. Sometimes wrestling will make headlines for bad news. So it's always good, when it's in a positive light like that.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of bad news lately. Time to start pushing out. A lot of good stuff, hopefully, in the coming months.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a lot of bad, a lot more than we're used to, but we'll get through it. We're pretty resilient people. A couple of big moves that we saw over the past week or so. First one, Jenna Burkett actually came on the HMA show with Mason Beckman, and they were doing an interview, and towards the end of the interview, she actually dropped that she's going to be partially moving over to the Southeastern RTC at Virginia Tech. so on first glance, I know like all the posts say, oh, she's moving to the SERTC, but she's actually going to be splitting time between her, was it WCAP program that she's at with the Army and the RTC over at Virginia Tech. So I thought that was pretty cool. What do you guys' thoughts on that move?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's super cool. I think that's a good idea when people do, split time at RTC. I know some people have done that at a few different places. I know Bryce Meredith was doing that for a while, and I think it's a great idea, right? It gives you experience with different partners and keeps you involved. And at the end of the day, right, it helps bring in for women's wrestling now. It'll help at Virginia Tech, and she's still getting to train with her WCAP teammates out there. And so I think it's an amazing move.
Yeah, I think it's a kind of a win-win move for both sides. I like seeing Virginia Tech supporting women's wrestling. I've already seen, through Twitter, UNC has a few women that train down there, and they're already talking about, meeting up and training. It's cool to see her get the opportunity to have new training partners, maybe some fresh ideas as far as training. You got Jared Freyer. I think he's kind of running things as far as SCRTC goes. He's an Olympian, great guy to be around. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Good to see.
Yeah, for sure. I think her whole situation is really, really cool, man. Like you guys have said, it's cool to be able to go to the different RTCs and get different looks and different partners and all that kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, she also said in her interview that, once wrestling is done, or when she gets to that point where she's done competing, she's got a whole career lined up in the Army. So that whole WCAP program is really cool. I definitely think it's something to look into for people looking into wrestling on the senior level and anything post college. But we also had a couple other ones, and the next one that I wanted to talk about was Helen Maroulis and John Morrison to the Maryland RTC. So that's really that's a really big move right there for Maryland. So what are you guys' thoughts on that one?
I mean, go ahead, Earl.
Okay, yeah, it's actually the DMV RTC, and for people that aren't from around here, that's District Columbia, Maryland, Virginia. I know everybody's like thinking it's the car place, but Helen's from that area, so she's home. I hear nothing but good things about John Morrison as far as being not the biggest name in the world, but really a solid coach. He's been in the Maryland area for the past couple of years. He was instrumental in Kurt McHenry. He was cadet world champion. He worked with him in high school at St. Paul's School. So, he's a guy that's kind of plugged in that area. And, you don't even need it to say anything about Helen. She's the biggest name in women's wrestling. So, yeah, huge for Maryland.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's an amazing move by them, and she's going home to Maryland. And I know John Morrison, and he's an amazing guy, right? I had some back and forth battles with him a few years back, and I had nothing but good things to say about him. So I think that's a huge move, and going to draw a lot of attention to Maryland for a while now. Yeah,
for sure. And there he is. I don't know if he can hear us yet or not.
I can.
He can. We can hear him. Great. I guess I'll let Earl start it off real quick because he had something to say about your opponent. And, what he might be doing.
Well, Jacob figured you were sleeping in, and I said RBY's not sleeping in.
No, I got up I'm hurting though. So
you're trying to squeeze 3 months of training in a couple weeks?
Not really. It's like you're training for one match. You're not training for a tournament.
Yeah.
And so it's like everything's 6 minutes, but it's hard. So it's like shark bait for 6 minutes or stance in motion for 6 minutes. And dude, sometimes a stance match can be harder than a regular match, especially if you have someone calling it out. And dude, I'm just like, today is like my first day off this week, and it's like the same thing. Like I'm I like got up at 8, and then it's like you're like snoozing off, like trying to read or something, and so that's what happened.
So when you say stance match, what do you mean by that?
So I'm going in stance, and then I had Kendall like calling out stuff, and he was going shot, down block, reshot,
Okay.
Sprawl, shot, sprawl, quick feet.
You did that for 6 minutes?
1 minutes.
Oof.
So you're trying to keep everything a sprint, you know.
I'm glad my stance is like basically me standing, otherwise I'd be struggling.
All right. Well, we got Jack on. He might be late, but he's here. We talked a little bit about Jack for just catching you up. We talked a little about Jenna Burkett moving to the Southeastern RTC. And then we just hit on Helen Maroulis and John Morrison to the DMV RTC. So I guess
terrible name.
I know.
Terrible name. No one's gonna want to go there. I ain't ever leaving.
Yeah.
DMV.
I don't know though. If you told me that I could wrestle while waiting in line to get my license, then I might go. Might be better than what it usually is.
Be like a 4-hour practice.
Yeah. But the last big one, and good, we got Jack on here for this one, but the last big move that we saw was obviously the king himself. We saw Jordan Burroughs move, or not yet. He's going to be staying put at Nebraska for right now, but it looks like after the Olympics take place in 2021, he's going to be moving over to the Pennsylvania RTC over there at UPenn. So we've all been talking, Jack. You want to give us your take on that one?
I know he has a great relationship with Slay, because Slay's been out the springs, and he's made like every world team since the beginning of time. But it makes you feel like, I don't know. It's cool that he's still training, because that's what it seems like. It's not like he's taking a position as like a coach or something. But it makes you like, it's going to be awesome to see Jordan still on the mat after this cycle.
Sure.
Makes you wonder where his heart is though after this, just because it's not like where he's been winning. If it's not broken, why fix it? Don't fix it, or whatever the saying is. I think it's gonna be cool to see him and Mark Hall as partners, like I think, and David McFadden, all those guys, all those 74 kilos. I think we're gonna see a lot of progression in them. Because iron sharpens iron. I would love to see that group get together and get better. I don't know.
Yeah, Dude, I mean, they must have some money out there at the Penn RTC, man. 'Cause that's the amount
They
of
offered
people.
me too.
You're saying that. I think that's unbelievable. They got somebody backing that up pretty strong out there, but they've made a lot of big moves in a short time here. So I think that's crazy. And then you bring on, we already thought they made a lot of big moves, and then they bring JB on board. So I think it's headed in the right direction out there. So I think, it's going to make it interesting, and maybe not in the next couple of years, but maybe 5-10 years competing with Penn State for guys out in Pennsylvania area and stuff.
Dude, the Ivy Leagues are killing it.
Mm-hmm.
They are killing it. The age of the RTC is owned by the Ivies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the owner of the Philadelphia 76ers, I want to say, I think he's a Penn graduate and has put a lot of money into the program, and I'd assume maybe the RTC as well. So yeah, it's going to take a bunch of money to get JB out there. But, as you guys said, I'm following recruiting pretty closely, and you look at those guys, Penn already has 2 or 3 studs from New Jersey that are going to be juniors this year already, committed to them. So I think it's only going to go up from there, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and right now, I mean, where do you get better partners from 57 to 84 range than those 3 guys right there? I mean, they're going to start bringing in some big name getting recruits pretty soon. Yeah,
and they already got like Kolioko and their 57-pounder, what's his name? Artelona. So like their classes have already been pretty good. So we're gonna see a lot of progression in them.
Yeah. So also, Earl, you mentioned the owner of the 76ers. I just made sure of it, but he actually wrestled at UPenn, which is kind of wild to think that the owner of a basketball team wrestled.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if he did or not.
Yeah. Yeah. I had read it somewhere, but I looked it up, and as long as Wiki tells the truth, we're good. But yeah,
got Jacob fact checking me, man.
I did. No. Oh, in fact, you didn't say it. I thought that you knew, but you didn't want to say it, like commit to it and then be wrong. Yeah. This is the kind of vibe I was getting. So I was like, oh crap, let me make sure.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, no, but I think that's pretty cool, and I guess the PRTC they had a chance at Jack, they missed out, so they settled for JB. So.
JB, Mark Hall, and David McFadden.
Yeah. Hey man, you got to get what you got. You got to get what you can get sometimes. You can't get the best. You got to settle.
Exactly.
Dude, Flo posted me 3 times yesterday, and I was like, it was on, like, that's probably more than they've ever posted about me. And I hate it when I love it, but I hate it when they post about me because some of these comments are freaking mean, man.
Yeah.
Kids are mean these days.
Why you even read that stuff?
Oh yeah,
man?
dude, it's a lot. It's like these 12-year-old kids coming at your life out of nowhere.
One of them, though, I kid you not, was all nice things, and I was like, this just really made my day. And then they posted me again, and I was like, oh, now there's gonna be some mean things. Fair enough.
That's when you read through and you find the worst stuff, and then you just comment and be like, "What's up, man?" Say it again,
or something like that.
Yeah.
My older brothers have it, and dude, Keegan, he like talks back. So if he'll like take my back in these situations and be like, "Oh yeah, kid, you're like a one-time Connecticut state champ. Oh really? You're gonna talk to him?" And I'm like, Keegan, you need to calm down.
Yo.
Yeah.
Dude, my uncle gets heated. Like he's on social media a little bit, and he just comes at people's life if they like say anything negative, and I have to like call him and be like, "Hey, don't delete that, please. we don't gotta go there." It's funny. I love it.
Wrestling fans are brutal. They're brutal. I don't know if they're as bad as MMA fans, but
they're getting there.
Yeah.
Probably, but they're a bunch of the same people. So, I don't know. But I saw the Jude commented on that one Flow video of you with the inside joke.
Jude's like the first comment on all of these.
Yeah, he tried to take credit.
I gave it to him too.
I know.
I gave it to him. He was like, "I showed you this," and I was like, "I know," something like that.
So who are your practice partners right now around there?
Mitch McKee was up here from like the 7th to yesterday. And so I was training with him. He's freaking strong, and he's just got a really good freestyle feel. Made a few world teams, junior world silver. Really good head pinch, kind of keeps me honest. So it's been kind of weeding out the folk style in me, just like diving in as soon as I get my hands locked, like scramble around.
Mm-hmm.
But like a lot of the Columbia guys are up here. Henry Cejudo was up here for a couple days, so that was fun. He didn't go live or anything, but just the dude is so knowledgeable, not as much technical. He has like his 3 shots, but like his mind strength it's out of this world. Like I wrote some notes down. I'll say one of the things he said to me, he said, there's like heart and then there's like ability, and you want them to be like intertwined. And the reason why some guys that don't have the heart but have like all the ability in the world don't win is because their heart and their mind aren't in it, and their heart and mind is like as one. And then it's the same thing. It's like, those kids on your team that work harder than everyone or almost work harder than everyone and just cannot win a match. They just don't have the ability. And it was like, it kind of like connected the dots for a little bit. And it's just, he was like, when you have your ability, like make sure you have one thing that you're better than everyone else at. So like whatever, whatever it may be. Have that, he called it malice. Have that malice. Thought that was super cool. Yeah, he like sat down with me and Mitch and a few other guys and just like talked for a couple of hours about this stuff. It was awesome.
That's cool. Definitely cool. I would have wanted to go live with Triple C though.
Oh yeah, dude, he's pretty big right now. I've got the height and the reach advantage though. The tail of the tape.
Yeah. Well, I think we hit all the big movers. We already hit on all the Stanford stuff last time, but we'll drop down and I guess we'll just start talking about this flow card a little bit. I've already kind of alluded to some of it over the last couple shows, but I believe it is set, and I believe it's not changing anymore. So I think it'd be cool just to go through and give our picks on these matches, and just what our thoughts are. So I guess we'll start from the. I think I'd want to like start from the bottom and work up to the top match, but honestly, I think it's probably easier to pick as you're at the top. I don't know. Where do you guys want to start? You want to start with Vito and Sammy, or start with Dake Chamizo?
You call it.
I think we start from the bottom. I think we gotta.
All right. Yeah.
I think I'm not am I the third match now? Did we hop Fletcher Caldwell?
I don't know. I have you a second.
Oh wow. I hopped two people. Dang.
Hey man, if I were you, I'd want to be first so I can get off the mat and sit and watch all this stuff. I don't know.
I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess it doesn't matter too much. So let's go Vito versus Sammy Alvarez. I know there was like, kind of talking on Twitter. Sammy Alvarez apparently got back on Twitter just for the sole purpose of telling everybody that first of all, he said that it was it Jersey versus Russia?
Yeah.
And then also told everyone that he was going to tech Vito.
I don't think that was a real account.
No, it was.
It was?
Yeah, he goes on Flow saying that it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
He just picked a dumb username. It's
Okay.
like Sammy AL 238976.
Yeah. Yeah. So first of all, him saying it's Jersey versus Russia, bro. Vito grew up in New York, right? So dad wrestled for Russia, but I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I don't know. I think that's funny. I think Gabe Townsend quoted it and said, "Bro, he's from Long Island."
Yeah, I was dying at that. Yeah, I love Townsend's Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, people up.
He got in a Twitter fight yesterday with Brandon Miranda. But I think Vito by Techfall. Yeah. I mean, it's just hard not to. I don't even know, I don't really know who this kid is, to be honest.
Yeah.
I saw him at the Big Ten. I thought he was a lot of fun to watch. I thought he's pretty ballsy, pretty scrappy, good scrambler.
I think he just matched up well with RBY.
Yeah. He had, I'm trying to think who else he wrestled. I think he
wrestled me.
Yeah.
He had a good match with Seth.
Yeah.
Like 8-5 or something.
Yeah. Petrowski.
What was it? Was it like dominant and then he got a last second thing?
Dude, he's super sneaky. So I got in on two singles where I just felt like, oh, this is gonna be an easy finish, and he did something weird that I hadn't really felt before. It took me down twice off of that actually, and I mean, I rode him pretty easy, and he kind of gave me a scare on when he was on top because I stood up, thought I was away, and this dude threw in a cradle last second. And I ended up catching him on his back off of it, but he's got just he's kind of sneaky. He doesn't feel strong. He doesn't shoot much, right? He's a big counter offense wrestler, but he's got a different feel than most guys. That's what I'd say. It was interesting. I mean, I think he's a guy, if you feel it out once, you could do a lot better the second time. But I think first time wrestling him will be interesting for Vito.
Yeah, for sure. That scramble that they post over and over and over again on Flow with him and RBY. That was insane, man.
I hope that happens in our match because I'm pretty sure there's a few forward rolls in there.
Yeah.
Couple 4-pointers or something.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'm with Jack on this one though. Even though Sammy said it his way, like I'm going Vito Tech. Like I don't think it's a close match. I think Vito beats up on him.
What weight is this at? Any ideas?
No idea.
No, I don't know.
Because Sammy's clearly a lot bigger.
Yeah, Vito's small, man. I can't
Vito's
believe he's trying to
small,
go
and
33.
Sammy's a big 33-pounder, and he looks a lot bigger when I saw the interview.
He looked big.
Yeah, so
Real
I
thick.
think there's going to be a weight advantage, to be honest. I think that could play a factor. I think it's going to be a close match. I don't think it's a tech fall either way.
My thing is just that Vito is so good in freestyle, and we've seen it.
I think Vito's experience, he's going to end up winning the match, but I think it's extremely close. That's what I'm going to go with.
Vito's got a freaking hit list when it comes to freestyle.
Yeah, who's he got up there? I guess I don't know too well.
Well, me. It was a couple years ago, but he beat me by a point. He beat Suriano.
Yeah, that's right. He just beat Suriano. He was beaten up on Fix and then lost.
Yeah.
He was beaten. He threw Spencer right away and then ended up getting beat up on. But
yeah, that whole tournament he went off.
Yeah, I think it's funny too. I haven't seen the interview where Flo just like sat him down, but I saw the Bader show. Vito just seems like such a nice dude. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know
he's
anything
funny,
about
dude.
him.
He's hilarious.
It was funny because they said on there, they're like, "Oh, did you see that Sammy came out and said he was going to tech you?" And he was like, "Oh, he did? Oh, cool." Like basically didn't say anything.
Exactly how Vito is.
Yeah,
That's funny. I didn't see that, but that sounds just like him.
like he was like, I'd encourage him to try, is I think what he said. But, like, it was so nice. Like they teed it up for him to say something, dramatic. And he was just
try. I love it. That's my favorite type, right? You're not saying anything back at him, but that's awesome.
Yeah. Earl, what you got on this one?
I'm not going to go with tech because I think Seth kind of convinced me a little bit. The size may be an issue, but I do think it's Vito pretty convincingly.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's the big thing is just the kind of question mark with Alvarez on freestyle, right? We know what Vito is. We just don't know where he is, where Alvarez is.
Yeah.
All right. Next one, possibly the biggest match of all time. The Penn RTC missed out on this gentleman. Jack versus RBY.
That's a real cough.
Real cough. Yeah, so Jack versus RBY. I'm stoked to watch this one. I really am. I'm so excited that it happened.
Me too. I've been thinking about how it's going to go over and over and over, and I think it's going to be a heck of a match. You guys both just got some cool moves. You guys can kind of score from a lot of different positions, and I think you're pretty quick too yourself. So I think that's going to neutralize a lot of RBY's quickness too. So I think it's a good match. I think I'd say Jack's got a little bit more freestyle experience than RBY does. RBY's probably, I'd say, slightly quicker. Maybe a little more explosive, but this is going to be a crazy match one way or another.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's going to be fireworks. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Exactly what you said, man. Jack's got more experience. I've seen Jack beat up on some really good guys, and I haven't really seen the same from RBY in freestyle. So I'm definitely going Jack. I don't know how the score is going to fall.
Who did RBY? I think it was last year. Maybe it was 2 years ago. Who did he lose to at the junior trial?
Jamie
Hernandez.
Yeah, that's right.
Big tag too.
Yeah, and tag, yo. Because I think he hit that like he does that little side headlock thing where he kind of chokes you out. I've seen him hit that a few times, but besides that, he didn't do a ton on top and freestyle wise. Besides that, he was just getting a lot of takedowns on guys.
Yeah.
I just hope.
On top, it will be my favor.
Yeah.
I think it will be pretty heavily my favor.
That's where what I was kind of thinking too is that when Jack gets the opportunity to get on top, I can see Jack having a lot. I can see Jack getting turns. I don't see RBY getting turns. All right. So I think when Jack gets on top, it's going to be really bad for RBY.
I think the real question is how many points do we think get scored during this match?
Dude, he said in his interview he'd be disappointed if we don't score at least 20.
Heck yeah, let's go.
I'm down.
I'd rather there just be 10 points scored in the match, personally.
I think I know what you're alluding to there.
I think 15, maybe 15 is a good over-under number.
Yeah.
Probably.
Come on, Jack. You got to give him a couple.
What was your score when you wrestled Luke Pletcher? What was the score of that match?
10-0.
Was it? I can't remember if it was.
Yup.
Let's go. Did you turn him a bunch, or was it just takedowns?
It was he shot his high C, re-attack right into a lace over.
Boom. Quick one.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was like,
humble cough.
I just got attacked.
Yeah. Let's get out of here, yo. Oh, I love it.
That just happened. Yeah, that was crazy. That bracket was so whack. They had Gomez the 1 seed. No, they had Vito the 1 seed, Pletcher the 2, Gomez the 3, and me the 4. And I was like fresh off being an All-American, and none of the other 3 had been All-Americans. So I didn't understand how I got the 4 seed. And so I lost to Vito in the semis. And then Pletcher got upset first round because he was cutting his balls off, and it was the first time he made 33 because he was at 41 that year. And so Gomez got like nobody into the finals. Gomez and Vito wrestled 10 minutes after our match, and it was like 8-7, came down to the last move, and I didn't get his knee down. And so Vito like got up by 7, gasped, loses the match, and Gomez makes the finals against Mitch McKee. And then takes a match too.
Yeah, because Mitch teched him in the first match. Like it looked like, oh, this is gonna be easy for Mitch.
Yeah,
and we were talking about Gomez won the second one.
And then he said the third one was like he was down like 4-6-0, and then came back and won.
Yeah.
Man, I think you guys just need to get there, and you need to tell the Flow guys, look, these first 2 matches, we're just gonna do a round robin. Just everybody wrestle.
I had not been training for that. I'm not ready for 3 matches.
Especially a Jack versus Vito match. I'm here for that. So badly want to see that one too.
Dude, I thought he was going to be so strong when we wrestled last, and he was like not. And it like took me by surprise. Yeah.
Yeah, I've wrestled him a little bit out at the training center, and he kind of pick and choose. He's really like he goes like in short spurts. So, like, he'll kind of not feel like he's doing anything, and then boom, he'll hit something.
Yeah, he'll put you to sleep.
Yeah.
He'll put you to sleep, and then bang!
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I think Spencer just kept on him the whole time, didn't really give him space to really do that, and I think that was kind of why Spencer took it to him.
Yeah.
What about the next one? Pletcher versus Darian Caldwell. I don't know if you guys saw those interviews with Caldwell, but those were fun.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because, like, what is Darian's shape? How much wrestling has he been doing while doing MMA? I mean, I don't know. I think it's a tough one. I always tend to favorite the guy that's actually been full-time wrestling. So I'll probably give.
What I said.
Yeah, I'll probably give Pletcher a slight edge, but I mean, Darian's a gamer, and I think he's got a pretty good chance in the match at least. Unlike a lot of the wrestling MMA matches.
About Caldwell's comment of 99.9% there will be a spladle in this match.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I do not see that happening because Pletcher shoots a high crotch, and that's basically
he's like a stump.
Yeah.
He's stumpy.
I'll go the other way and say I bet you there's a 99% chance we don't see a split on that.
He will straight up bait people. Like, he will just throw that leg out there, turn his hip, and just ask you to take it. But, yeah, I don't see that happening.
Don't take it. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be fun though. I can definitely see Caldwell coming out and just throwing the kitchen sink for like a minute and then Pletcher beating up on him.
Yeah.
I think the conditioning definitely is going to be a thing. And it's weird to talk about that. Like we talk about, wrestling conditioning is so much harder than MMA, and it is. But how much can we differentiate that right now with like how hard it is for people to work out in the first place? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know like how much better shape Pletcher is going to be in than Caldwell. I mean, I would assume probably a little bit, but with this whole COVID situation, we don't know how much these guys have been practicing. So that should definitely be taken into consideration. But yeah, I agree with you. I'm going Pletcher. I think, like I said, Caldwell throws a bunch of crazy stuff at him, but yeah, I think Pletcher hangs in for the long haul and takes the win. What about everybody else? Got Pletcher?
Yeah, Pletcher.
Yeah.
Nobody's picking the Wolf.
No, he'll have some flashes. He'll do a couple things, but
he's dangerous for sure. But if he ain't getting a pin or attack in the first, like you said, if
first minute or so,
yeah, it's over.
He also said he was going to pin him. Like, I'm going to pin him.
I think he knows that that's what he's got to do to win the match.
Yeah.
If he does, I will not be super surprised.
But I think Pletcher just keeps such good position that I don't know. I don't see him getting pinned.
Yeah. I can definitely see it being kind of like JB Askren was, though, where he's like really hyped up and then, you just kind of it's really one-sided for the guy that's wrestling, like you said.
Well, Askren said on the mat, keep it going or something like that. Because he got doubled straight to his back and laced a couple times. He goes, keep it going.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it'll be like that, but
I don't know if you remember backstage, Jack, just watching the two, because it was funny because, Askren's just sitting there on his phone the whole time looking at Twitter and, messing around, and like JB's sitting there like intense and like, he's treating
it's
like
his job.
The biggest man. Yeah, it's his job. And Askren's just like, just go out there.
Yeah.
Dude, after Askren comes back off the hip surgery, we need to have Caldwell Askren. That I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I want to see that.
That's a pretty big size difference.
Yeah.
Whatever. You
big.
think Caldwell's worried?
I don't think Askren's ever going to compete again.
Yeah. Boy can dream.
Yeah.
Those styles would be fun to watch.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And you think Caldwell's worried about the weight difference?
I mean, I wouldn't really love it.
A big weight difference.
Yeah.
Your nickname's not the Wolf.
Because Askren, when
I don't have a nickname.
Massive.
No nickname, Jack.
I called you the Jack Pack in the text, but you don't ever get on there. So
don't even talk to me. Is Seth in that group text? I think Seth's in that group text.
But Seth has always been the same person from the start.
Shameless plug his RTC. I don't want to hear it.
The difference is Seth has been the same person from the start, right?
Yeah, you're just hit or miss, man.
I get on there and it's like I have no idea what we're talking about.
I know. That's why most of the time, like, I'll log on, there's like 87 messages, and I don't know where to start or where to go, and then I'm like,
They get fired off. And then I'm
I even tried super hard to get Seth back in when I put the two emojis in there. We were talking about whatever we were talking about, and I put a chicken and a leg.
Nope, I did not see that.
I got my comment in the other day.
Yep, I saw that, Jack. You really are probably going to do that on every post from now on, huh?
You made a mistake.
I got those sweatpants on for a reason, dude.
Yeah. But we got two more matches on this card. What's his name? David Taylor. David Taylor now has a new opponent. He's going to be wrestling Miles Martin. So what do you guys think about the new matchup? And like, I mean, yeah, I guess first, what do you think about the new matchup?
I think that, I mean, obviously David Taylor's I think he's going to end up getting a tech at some point in the match. I think that maybe Miles will squeak a couple points early in the match, but David Taylor's pace and length, and I think he's been getting ready for this match, and I don't know if Miles has as much, so.
Yeah. I think Jack saw it when they put it out. I had to retweet it and put, thank God Flo decided to give us a match that's actually going to be competitive.
Was that sarcastic?
Yeah. I mean, it's sarcasm. It's sarcasm because
it's hard to find a match for David Taylor, though. Like, who is he really going to wrestle and be competitive with?
Zahid.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's going to smoke Zahid, dude.
Bro, did you watch him and Zahid wrestle the last few times? Dude, they wrestled when Zahid was young, and David Taylor, I think, won the world championships that year. Zahid was up like 6-2 going into the second period, and obviously Zahid just ain't got the shape to hang with him. But, dude, he went out there and freaking took him down 2-3 times, and that was out at the Grand Prix in Spain one year. So I
remember watching them in practice.
I mean, think about what – I mean, Zahid was competitive with Dake.
Yeah, but, like, kind of competitive with Dake. There was never a moment where it was like, oh, my gosh, Zahid's going to win. It was like a 4-0 competitive with Dake.
Well, and what I meant with my comment was, like, I wasn't in any way, like, throwing shade Mymar's way, because, like, what I was more saying was this is a way better matchup than just watching Downey get ragdolled for, 6 minutes or however long they're out there. At least Miles has the opportunity to score points, if you ask me. I didn't see Pat Downey scoring anything. So.
Yeah, but no one really cared if he was going to score points. It's just the match we wanted because we wanted to see Pat Downey get shut up.
It's true. He got shut up. But he shut himself up.
He got canceled. Oh, gosh. I don't know. I feel bad for Miles, man. People were getting at him.
Were they really?
Yeah. Just like, this is the wrong matchup. Oh, we
Really?
wanted women's matches and y'all gave us this or something like that. And I what did I do? I retweeted something that
out there.
His dad's a really cool guy.
Well, first of all, people need to realize that they can't just, like, get whoever the heck they want, right? Like, it doesn't work out for some people. Not everybody's going to drop their entire life and fly out there and wrestle. You know what I mean? So
David Taylor, right? So this is what his dad tweeted. He said, "I've read some critical post of Flo extending an offer to Miles to wrestle Taylor next week. However, blessing come to blessed people. Another opportunity to compete, get better, and get paid. Obviously, Taylor had a say in the matter. So glad God is not a man, not like man."
Yeah, well, I mean, like, what I'm saying is that
it was just wrestling fans right now are just terrible, man. Mm-hmm. It's like, hop off his back. He's gonna go wrestle number 1, number 2, number 3 pound for pound wrestler in the world. Like, kudos to him to go and do it.
I just think there's no middle ground with people nowadays. It's either they hate it or they love it.
It's freaking ridiculous. Pisses me off.
And, like, dude was down for it, too. Like, when it came out and they were looking for a new opponent, he was like, me, I'm in. Like, you should love that as a wrestling fan. Anybody just throwing their hat in the ring with, like you said, one of the best dudes in the world.
Yeah.
Earl, what were you saying?
No, it's a great matchup. Like, okay, maybe Deering or maybe Zahid. Those may be the only other real better matchups, domestically that you're going to find. So
isn't Miles ranked like 8th in the world or something like
Yeah,
that?
because he has a win over Daringer. Yeah, that's what bumped him up to 8.
Yeah, so.
And also, people it kills me, people hating on him, because for one, you think that Flo didn't reach out to all of those guys, right? I guarantee Flo tried to contact or contacted Zahid, Daringer, all those dudes, and who was the one that stepped up and was wanting to do it? You know,
and I mean, you look at it, that gives you, there's 6 other people in the world that would be better options than Miles.
Yeah, and he took it on 8 days' notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I took it on 8 days' notice, I would not be in shape at all. Like, I'm not gonna be in the best shape of my life, obviously, but like I would be in real trouble. Like I don't know if I'd be able to make it 6 minutes. So
Sure.
that's super impressive. Like just, oh gosh, dude, this stuff that just driving me insane. It's driving me insane.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole, but how about?
I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna have time for our debate today. Now,
Might not. I can go longer. It'll be all right.
What debate?
We're gonna get into the GOAT debate if
yeah.
everybody's still ready. I guess let's just move on. We'll hit that last match on the flow card, and then we'll get to it.
Yeah, we've talked about this one a little bit, so we can kind of.
Yeah, Dake Chamizo. Yeah. What do you guys got?
Dake because of size advantage. I think it's going to be not a high-scoring match because they're both defensive wrestlers. I don't know. I mean, maybe Chamizo sneaks a takedown or two, but Dake wins it, I think, handily. I think it ends up being something like the Zahid Dake matches.
How much of a size advantage, though, do you think there is? Because I know that I heard that Chamizo was walking around at like 77, 78.
Yeah, but you can tell he's puffy, man. He's not, I don't know. I don't think he's a full-size 79.
Well, also, we've heard a lot about Dake not being full-size 79. Like, a lot of people have said that even at the World Championships, he kind of was a little underweight. Right? I mean, I wasn't there. I don't know. But that's what I've heard from a lot of different places. So, I don't know. I mean, I think he's definitely bigger, right? But the question is just how much. But I know Jack's got the opposite viewpoint on this one. So what do you think about it?
Yeah, well, Frankie's my teammate now. So, I get to see him wrestle, and it's just, dude, this guy moves with such grace and, like, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable the actions he takes when he wrestles. So it's like I'll be sitting there watching him, and though right now he's practicing at a different time. Like sometimes, like he goes in the morning. I like going in the afternoon. But I'll go in and just watch him. Just sit there and watch his practice. And the things I learn, the movements he does, it's really, really cool. Nestor Tafur said he thinks that Frankie's training harder for this match than he was for the World Championship, just more locked in. And so I think that, I mean, it seems like he's working out 2-3 times a day, every day, pretty much.
To be fair with that, like you're saying, maybe training harder than he did for the World Championships. While this isn't a World Championship, this is, basically like skipping to the finals. Like this is
a possible finals.
A possible final, right? Obviously, you got Sidikoff and Burroughs could be there for the U.S. Who knows? Could be Burroughs or Dake, but like this is definitely a match that could be the world final. So
yeah, so I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I think that it will come down to a couple positions. Really excited to see these guys go at it.
Yeah, who you got, Earl?
Yeah, man, I'd love to be able to just watch Chamizo on a day-in-day basis and practice like that. That'd be amazing. But I think it'll be a low-scoring match. Both kind of defensive counter guys. I don't know. I'll go 4-3 Dake.
Yeah, I'm not picking against Dake, man. I'm not. Last 2 years watching him just run through everybody, I got to see him lose again.
JB.
He has not wrestled JB in the last 2 years.
Yeah, but JB's taking him out. We can debate that one.
Yeah, no, we'll debate that one later. It's not happening. I'm glad that we're on different sides. Dake's going to win that one. But we'll talk about that one later.
Wild. He's 1-7 against Burroughs, and we're just so – like, I think Dake's going to win.
Nope.
Oh, this is good. This is
I think
good.
Dake's going to beat Burrows. I don't know. I'm excited to see this match because I think it will give me a better insight into who's actually going to win this match because they don't really have common opponents right now at 74.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'll have to study up a little bit to have better points and not just be yelling to be yelling. But we definitely need to hit on that topic for sure. But you guys want to just go ahead and roll into this kind of debate that we're gonna have here?
Yeah.
Or conversation.
This topic. I freaking commented on Chamizo's post, and some dude goes, what did he say? He said, "Root for your own country, but what the hell do I know?" or something like that. And he spelled root like Route 66, and I was just like, "Oh, I know what you don't know." And I really wanted to comment back.
That's where you only comment back and just spell root correctly with little asterisks. That's it. Root.
Yeah,
asterisks.
dude, I'm so close to breaking and commenting on people's stuff, man.
Yeah.
If you're out there, keep pushing my buttons. We'll see. You might be the first one to get blown up on.
All right, so we know spelling pisses you off, so I'm gonna stalk Jack on all social media and just comment below with spelling everything wrong. See how long it takes from the break. I'm gonna make different accounts so he doesn't know it's me. It's gonna be great.
All right.
But yeah, we'll just go ahead and get into this thing. So when I originally put it out yesterday, I said the GOAT debate, and a lot of people or most people kind of immediately go to Cael, Dake, right? Those are the two that immediately pop up when people talk about the GOAT, and we're talking about college wrestling, right? I'm not talking about after college. I'm not talking about before. I'm talking about their college career, right? Who was the best college wrestler of all time? And so those are the two guys that I put out there and that get brought up. But there's been several other names thrown in the hat too. So I'm interested to hear. And even one, Seth's got one he's going to throw out today that it wasn't even mentioned in our Twitter. Well, it was mentioned very briefly in our Twitter comments yesterday. But I'm interested. Let's do this first. Do y'all want to go around and kind of say who we think first, just briefly, and then we'll get into it more, or what do we want to do?
I can say who I think it's not. I think Cael Dake's maybe 4th or 5th on the list.
Whoa. Drop your top 5. Drop your top 5. Drop your top 5.
Drop my top 5. So I got no order for these first 3, but first 3 I think are Cael, Utaki, and Dan Hodge. And then 4th, I'd throw Dan Gable up against Dake to be a competitive college.
What about Lee Kemp?
What's that?
Lee Kemp.
What's his career stats?
3-time NCAA champ, and the one time he lost was his freshman year. And so what happened, it was the most controversial thing ever. So it was if there's no what was it? They got to choose about it going into overtime or something, or it went into overtime, and then the refs chose who won or something like that.
They used to do that. That's how Kurt Angle won
the other guy
championships. But that's crazy. Lee Kemp's gotta be in there. What's his career record?
I think that was one of the only ones he lost. Let me look this up.
Lincoln McElravy only lost one.
But I think it's impressive that he did it at 4 different weights, but at the end of the day, he was of size for those weight classes. I don't think that he was at a disadvantage when he wrestled any of those weights. I don't think that it was wow, he's a 141 pounder going up every year. I think it was this dude grew, he put on muscle. He's a 79 kilo guy that's fully filled out at 79 kilos. So I don't think that, I think it's cool. It's interesting. It's unique. He's the only guy that's done that, but I don't think at the end of the day that that's a huge part of the argument.
Lee Kemp lost one time, and it was because of the split decision in the NCAA finals.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. So he's in the combo too then, man. That's crazy.
You gotta think, like, man, it's also like 1970s. So you might think that there's some, immoral people in there.
Yeah.
Who's the other one? Who's the guy that wrestled for Iowa? There was two brothers. Is it
Panic Brothers?
No.
TJ and Joe Williams.
Yes, there we go. That's another one.
Yeah, TJ has the highest winning percentage in Iowa history.
Because TJ and Lincoln both only lost one match in their college careers.
Was TJ Williams the guy that went to Midlands like 10 years straight?
That was Joe. He won the Midlands 10 times.
I was looking at the program, and it was like records of who's won the most Midlands titles. It was like 10.
Bono's up there.
Yeah.
Bono went there so many times. He wrestled there when he was a coach at Chattanooga. Head coach, he won it.
Sunkissed kids have like a team title at Midlands. Dude, Seth, I think we should put together a squad.
Dude, let's go, dude. I'm already if Midlands was happening this year, I'd be there.
Dude, let's freaking do it. I'll go 25. Go 33. We'll get guys together. I'll tweet it.
Askren, when he had that podcast with Tommy Rollins, they were talking about getting a team of all like over 30 guys, their calibers, but it never ended up happening. But I know like Hayeswinkle, Simmons, Herbert, they were all talking about doing it.
That would be awesome.
So fun. And and it's good dudes to wrestle out there.
Yeah. That'd be a blast, man. We could like make our own singlets or something.
Yeah. I'm in. Count me in on that.
That'd be a blast.
But back to the argument anyway. Who do you guys pick number one?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is let's go through real quick.
We got a list of a ton of guys, but what's your guys' thoughts on who's up there?
I'm Dake.
Oh my gosh, dude! Are you kidding?
I just want to
he has his last two losses in college were to Kevin LaValle and Donnie Vinson. No disrespect to those guys, but it's not the same.
If it was like Jordan Oliver, or the guys that
he wasn't that dominant. Like he didn't, bro. I honestly, I might lean towards Dan Hodge. This dude pinned 80% of the dudes throughout his college career. In his
look at
NCAA titles, he won all matches by pin, right? It wasn't like he had some close ones at NCAAs. He pinned the dudes every time in the finals. Unbelievable. He didn't get taken down in college. How can you get better than that?
So,
I don't know. But you're gonna say Dake's better than that?
Yeah, I am.
What's your argument for that, dude?
All right, so here's my argument, and my argument is the same as it would have been with Cael. Is obviously going undefeated is unreal, right? Absolutely unreal. Not
something Cael and Dake couldn't do.
Yeah, but once again, like I said on Twitter last night, my deal with Dake is, first of all, there's two things that we talk about with him. And the first one is obviously the moving up in weight classes. Not that I don't think that there was a size advantage. I agree with you that he was a full size on each of those and he moved up. But I think that there's a very wide breadth of athletes that he had to go against moving up every year, right? So that is incredible to me, is that it's one thing to stay in the same weight for 4 years and beat up on the same dudes over and over again, but he beat up on half the NCAA field for 4 years. Over those 4 years, I'm losing my thoughts here, but yeah, moving up every year. The other thing that was really important to me is the level of competition that Dake faced. And I think Earl, I don't know if you're going against me or if I'm hitting home. But the competition that he faced, if you look at purely the finals, right? And we could talk about all of
purely the finals outside of David Taylor. Go.
No, not outside of David Taylor. David Taylor was there.
Taylor a few times.
No. So, and again, I can get into other guys because there's other dudes, right? But if you just look at the finals, just look at the finals, right? He wrestled Montel Marion freshman year. he was a 2-time finalist, right? He didn't ever win it, but he won. He was in the finals twice. Frank Molinaro was in the finals twice, won one. Same with Derek St. John in the finals twice, won one. And then David Taylor in the finals 4 times and won 2 of them. So that is a total of 10 finals appearances from the people he wrestled and 4 national titles. 4 national titles, 10 title appearances just out of the people he wrestled. If you look at Cael, the guys that I'm gonna get into it. If you look at Cael,
I got you on this one.
Yeah,
go for it.
You need to do some research, Jacob.
All right, so I went a little deeper than just the finals. Freshman year for Cael. Okay, freshman year for Cael. Quarterfinals pins Andy Rovat, Olympian. Semis pins Brad Varing, 2-time Olympian, world silver medalist, national champion the next year. Finals Brandon Eggum, who was a world silver medalist 2 years after that. That's just freshman year. We can go to sophomore year, Tech's Rob Roan, who was a national champion the next year.
Asterisk.
Okay. I mean, it's not the strongest, but semis, Brandon Eggum again, 16-5. Vertus Jones, West Virginia in the finals, 2-time finalist. Greg Jones' older brother. Next year, beats Cormier in the finals. He's 2-time Olympian, world bronze medalist. Tech's Jessman Smith, who was a 2-time All-American, 1 seed a couple years later. And then, senior year, John Trenge, who won the tournament for us. So to say he didn't beat anybody is –
and his level of dominance doing it was 10 times better than Dake.
Do you think Cael has like a flu game? Like there's one of those matches where he was like torn ACL, kicked the crap out of some dude. Like he's got to have like one where he's like banged up pretty bad and was like
one of his closest matches ever was against Damian Hahn. I think Hahn's freshman year, and he ended up beating him. Hahn was 5th that year and got upset in the first round of NCAAs. He told me that he was kind of looking ahead to that match. I think it was supposed to be in the quarters or semis, but yeah, Hahn pushed him, I think, his junior year.
I'm going to ask him. I'm going to be like, hey, did you have a flu game? He's going to be like, what? Like a flu game, like a goat, like really, really tough match where you were not feeling nearly like 100%. And then I want to hear the story. But if he doesn't say anything back, it's going to be embarrassing. So that's fine.
So hold up. I got to clear the air because Earl tried to basically throw in there that I think that Cael didn't wrestle anybody, right? I absolutely think that he wrestled great competition as well. I just think that Dake's competition was on a different level. Once again, this conversation is on the best college wrestler of all time, right? So we're talking about college accolades, and we can talk about the stuff after. That's fine. We can bring that in. We can bring up, world champ David Taylor into the mix.
Yeah, but how many world medalists did we just go over that Cael beat in his time?
One world champ. I'll take the world champ. I'll take the world champ that he bumped up a weight class and just for the sole purpose of beating said world champ. He didn't have to go up again. And he did, and it was, partially because he wanted 4 different weight classes, but he said in several interviews, I wanted to beat him. I wanted to put an exclamation point.
Like I said, if he looked undersized and he was little doing this, he looked this full same size as David Taylor every time they wrestled, so I don't think the weight has anything to do with it.
He committed to going up, though.
He probably will ever do again, but I got Dake down at 5 or something.
There is an argument for Stieber to be better than Dake, I think.
That's what I was, dude. I was looking
shut
at
your mouth.
Stieber's hit list, dude.
He's got 4 Big Ten championships.
Only Big Ten guy to do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
And 3 career losses, 1 to Zane Rutherford, 1 to – I can't remember who the other 2 are.
I think my number 1's Cael, and I think it's just the no blemishes is pretty freaking impressive because I guarantee you he has a flu game in there.
And I mean, looking at a guy like, say, Jason Nolf's career, he has a loss to Van Brill because he had that injury. Like, I know you two guys can attest to just some freak thing happen and you lose in a match because of injury. Like Cael.
My last one.
Yeah.
My last one, I was almost in the hospital like 3 days before with food poisoning. It was like a terrible weight cut. I was cramping everywhere. It was like borderline just weigh in and don't wrestle. And then I wrestled and ate, like, first match was fine. And then next match I was like just struggling, man. I just felt super weak. And so I lost. And that's like the last match of my freaking NCAA career. It's so ridiculous. But, you know, like just stuff like that, it's just terrible. NCAA semis, I had a jacked up ankle, you know.
I hear a lot of excuses, Jack.
Lots of excuses. I'm full of BS excuses.
I would have won all those matches, Jack. Just
Guaranteed.
Yeah, I think the level of dominance by Cael, Dan Hodge, and Utaki too. I mean, they were all dominant. They didn't have outside of maybe a match or two. I don't think they had anybody that was even close to beating them. Like I said, Dan Hodge didn't get taken down in his college career. I think that's a stat that's unbelievable.
Yeah, talk about Utaki, 3-time national champion, no losses. He was a guy that couldn't compete as a freshman, 2-time OW, 2-time gold medalist. One of them was during his college career. I think he had one takedown he gave up. And I saw from what Jason Bryant said on Twitter that they changed the rules takedown wise because of him, and he was take him down, let him up guy. So I can't really speak that intelligently on Utaki just because he competed during the 60s and there's not much out there on him.
Yeah,
but,
his coach said, or sorry, Earl, I interrupted you. What were you saying?
No, just that if you talk to any kind of old school Oklahoma people, that's the guy that they're saying, more so than John Smith, that's the best of Oklahoma State.
Yeah, his coach said, I don't know how good he was because I never saw him challenged. And we got texted that they changed the rules. So after the first takedown, it was like 1 point takedowns.
That's insane. So what, was it a 0 point escape then, or you just...
I don't know. I just know after. What did they say? What was it on
Take
Twitter?
him down, let him go, but you're not gaining any points on the dude.
You only get 1 point for a takedown, so you're getting like the same amount for an escape, I guess. I don't know.
So
that's wild.
I want to clarify real quick. All right, Seth, Dan Hodge. All right, I got Cael and Dake, and then Earl and Jack are both Cael. Is that right?
Yeah.
Wait, Seth went Dan Hodge as the GOAT?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Bro, tell me an argument where it's not Dan Hodge, dude.
I mean, I can't.
I
can't really say no.
Guy, but
yeah, I mean, I can't really say anything against him per se.
46-0 throughout college, 36 falls, never allowed a single takedown, 3-time Big 7 conference champ, 3-time NCAA champ, 2-time outstanding wrestler at NCAAs, and then he went on to make 2 Olympic teams, win a silver medal. But I don't know. I think he's the only dude to ever not get taken down throughout his entire college career.
Wait, did he have a loss?
Nope.
No.
That was when you couldn't wrestle as a freshman.
46-0 with 36 career pins.
38 career pins.
Oh, well, I'm looking at Flow. They say
36. My bad. Yeah, 46-0, 36 pins.
But was there a Kevin LaValle back then?
Yeah, and I read he beat
gosh.
dude. So this dude, Ned Blast from Oklahoma State, was a 2-time NCAA champ. He pinned him twice. Jim Gregson was an NCAA champ that he beat, pinned him. So basically, I mean, this dude pinned everybody he wrestled. I don't know what he was doing. I would love to watch what Dan Hodge did, but he was pinning everybody. Like, it was just expected. So 80% of the time you step on the mat, it's a pin. Never got taken down. I don't know. I think that's unreal. I think they all got something that they might have done a little better than each other, but I think, yeah, I'm going Dan Hodge.
All right, I got to hear though, especially Earl, because you're making faces when I was saying it. What do you guys think about Cael Dake? When he's moving up 4 weight classes, the 4 different, like the opponents, right? He has a way wider breadth of opponents than any of these other dudes did, right? Because there's something to be said, especially in college, where these dudes these are men, right? They're not usually changing weight classes like crazy, like kids in high school, like Zahid Valencia started off at 106 and ends up at like 170 or whatever his senior year.
182.
Yeah. So like people aren't doing that in college. Generally, these guys are staying the same. So, if you're in 125, or I guess 125 is probably bad, but if you're in like, the weight classes he was in, 41, 49, all those, like these guys are generally there or like right around there for the entire 4 years. So he had 4 times, the amount of opponents in my eyes than other people generally do. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I think he definitely has maybe the most unique career in college wrestling with the feats that he's had. And yeah, I mean, there's more different guys that could beat him. My argument against him also, there's a bunch of guys hypothetically that, and it's maybe a different argument, that could have beaten him at some point. Seth mentioned Darian Caldwell. I would have taken Caldwell against him. There's a lot of kind of what ifs. Nick Gallick, his freshman year, got injured and couldn't finish his career. He was the 3rd place guy the year before, highest returner. Maybe could have beat him. I don't know. If Lance Palmer redshirts and then he's a senior in 2011, I like Lance Palmer against him. That's maybe not the argument, but I don't know.
And I think my biggest thing against Dake is that he was not dominant like the other guys that we were talking about. He just wasn't. Like, he found a way to win when he needed to win, but he didn't dominate guys. And I think that you got to take that into factor. Yeah, maybe he had 1 or 2 guys that were really, really good that maybe he wasn't going to dominate, but he wasn't even dominating the middle of the road guys. It was still, maybe 6-2 matches, 8-2 matches, things like that. It was never, he's going out there, it's going to be a pin. He's going out there, it's going to be tons of points on the board. It was always, yeah, he's going to win, but.
Well, for that point, I'll argue you're like, people have different definitions of dominance, right? So like, no, he wasn't the guy that was Dan Hodge, David Taylor, pin and tech and everybody. But I think, especially both you guys wrestled at the D1 level. I mean, a 6-2 win sometimes is pretty damn dominant.
But not like what these other guys are doing at all.
But even if you want to go into that conversation, we can go back to the level of competition, right?
He had a few guys. He named a few guys, but outside of that, his level of competition wasn't like insane. I'm saying when he wrestled middle of the road guys, it wasn't like he was tearing them apart, pinning them, putting up a million. Like, he just wasn't.
I like Stever's hit list more than Dake.
Another thing I'll say on Cael's behalf, especially in his era, you didn't see upper weight guys as freshmen just jump in and win titles, and especially in that era, if freshmen did it, it was more at the lower weights, not 184, 197 type guys.
Yeah. And Earl, maybe you can help me out a little bit with this one, but I do think it's worth it throwing in TJ and McElravy into this conversation, at least to be mentioned, if not anything else. Because having 1 loss in college is incredible as well, especially the level of dominance those 2 dudes had. So, were you watching around that time? Can you give us anything on those guys?
I mean, there wasn't and still isn't much available as far as those guys go.
McElravy had 3 losses in his career.
3?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Lee Kemp, I guess, would be the other big one to talk about.
Yeah.
Anybody know a little bit more about Lee?
110-1.
Split decision.
Yeah.
He actually just signed to Constant Pressure, the same place I signed with.
Yeah. I think Zane's got just as much as like a conversation as McElravy.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been interrupting Earl this whole show. I'm sorry.
No, you didn't. No, you're good.
But hey, Jacob, now that hopefully you've realized that we've talked some sense into you. Can you, for once, just kind of backtrack and say, "Hey, I'm wrong"?
I will not, and I will never do that. That is not who I am.
Why did you go about it that way?
I still disagree. I think people put different value on different things, right? I mean,
your only value is that his competition was tougher,
and that there was a much wider, breadth of competition there. I mean, he wrestled in almost half of the NCAA weights, right? And was the top dog in every single one of them. He beat, dude, that like, it's really like, it's hard to get past also that the resume in the finals opponents. I mean, he wasn't getting in there wrestling guys that had just made their first NCAA final every time, right? He was beating up on some of the best dudes of that era. So, I mean, it's also something to be said that, David Taylor, we look at as possibly the best Penn State wrestler of all time. One of the best wrestlers in the last, however many years you want to talk about. And I mean, can you ever say that you thought Taylor was going to win the match? Even when Taylor got that first takedown right at the beginning,
I think a
still
lot
thought
of people thought Taylor was going to win the match.
I think the majority picked him.
I think a ton of people did.
Yeah.
Really? Because how many times did they wrestle before that match, and how many times did Taylor win?
They wrestled twice.
I was a David Taylor fan. I voted for him every time. I thought he was going to win, and then Dake found a way. But
Dake beat him every time.
He did. So your argument was that nobody thought he was going to lose.
That was a very small piece of my argument. Very small piece. I think it's Dake, dude. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, everybody's got their different opinions, and
so we'll average it out. What do you guys got Dake ranked, Jack and Earl?
I think I've got him at 4 or 5 right now.
Yeah,
I'm really trying to formulate a good.
Probably 4.
It's hard to go against the guy.
5, a 4, a 4, and a 1. So he's maybe we'll give him like a 3.4 or something ranking.
I think 1 is Cael, 2 is Utake, 3. I mean, it's like.
Why? I guess the argument. Why Utake over Hodge though?
More matches.
They both 3-time champs. I mean, I think Hodge was a little bit more dominant.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to be like. It's hard to think like them being very good in the 60s and the 50s.
I think that's a big reason why he pinned so many dudes is because he was probably just more. I mean, he just probably did something different. And I'm sure. I mean, I wish I could talk to people because I bet you that Dan Hodge is somebody who kind of revolutionized wrestling and kind of like Ben Askren did. I bet he's kind of, the guy in that.
The MVP awards after him, so.
Yeah, so I think
I can get behind Hodge being the 2 and Utake being the 3.
I got Utake with the gold medal while he's still in college.
That's pretty insane.
That's wild. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd probably go him 2, Hodge 3.
Yeah, I do think I think Hodge got silver while he was in college, if I remember correctly, but didn't get the gold.
Maybe Stieber, maybe Gable, Dake in that 4 or 5.
Yeah, I would like to, look at Stieber versus Dake because I think Stieber might be 4 for me with the wins he had in the final.
Yeah, it's some crazy wins.
His career, and again, maybe this is a different discussion, but I'm interested to see how it would have played out because he wrestled his true freshman year at 25, then broke his hand in Vegas, and he lost a couple matches there, then ended up getting that redshirt season. So, he was probably cutting a lot of weight that year. I'd like to see how that would have played out if he still would have.
Do we know who were his 3 losses?
Stieber in Vegas, and it would be the 2010 Vegas tournament. Whoever it was, it's not gonna. I don't know. Look like all-time greats. I'll say. I don't remember off the top of my head.
I'm looking it up.
Are you talking about his Vegas losses or his actual real losses?
His actual real
Real.
losses. I know Zane was one.
I think Oliver got him his freshman year.
Yeah, yep, that's one.
And shoot.
I mean, Zane and Oliver, I don't know who the third is, but put them up against LaValle and Bailey and those other dudes. I think those are much better losses when we look at that aspect.
What do you know? The open mat has. Oh no, it's 404 not found. Oh,
It's what?
it's like not found. It's on the open mat, but it's just not found. I can tell you the champ was though probably Robles. Robles won it at 25. Oh dang man! I'm gonna find this.
I'm just, man, it's so hard for me. It's so
I know
hard.
you're stubborn, man. You're stubborn. You're
no.
a fanboy on a guy, and it's hard for you to change your mind.
I appreciate the crap out of the undefeated seasons from these guys, right? Obviously, that's insane, and that's just like near impossible to do. I just, when I weigh an undefeated season versus just the level of competition, man.
Dude, this is the LeBron MJ debate.
I can't get past it.
LeBron made so many finals, but MJ was undefeated in the finals.
Okay, I got Stieber's Vegas tournament from that.
How'd you find it?
Magic.
The wizard strikes again.
He lost to Jared Patterson from Oklahoma in the semis 2-1. Loses to Jason Lara from Oregon State 5-0, and then Frank Pirelli 9-6, I think it is, for 5th place.
Wow. So that was his redshirt year?
Yeah.
Wow. Well.
Yeah. Man. Dake. I mean, I'm sticking with my dude Dan Hodge out here. I wish I could see that dude wrestle, but I think there's an argument for Hodge, Utaki, Cael, and then I think that second tier after that would be Stieber, Dake, and Gable, and maybe Kemp too.
I don't think you can put them in there. I think you got to put the 4-timers like alone. Maybe Pat Smith in there.
Yeah, Pat Smith.
You got to throw like being a 4-timer.
No, dude, Gable. I don't know. I think that there's a case for Gable to be up with right around that same level.
I think Kemp's right below Stieber, Dake. But I think that you can't put the 3-timers with the 4-timers.
I agree.
No matter if they didn't lose in the regular season, like Lee Kemp didn't.
I agree. I said that a little bit before the show, before we got on. It's like, you know, they like Seth said, they did the best of what they got, right? They got 3 years and they did the darn thing. But like a whole nother year, we don't know what, right? They could have been a 4-timer.
Like Lee Kemp was like he got a split decision. But like,
yeah, I got to go back and see what happened there in that, or kind of look at that. I didn't know that. Which year was that? His freshman year?
Not Dan Hodge, Dan Gable. Yeah, that was his freshman year.
Yeah. I don't know, man, but I guess I'm sticking with Dake at the top for me. I'm sorry, I have to. But
I think the accomplishment's amazing.
I can't get past it, man. I can't get past the amount of opponents and the level of his opponents, and yeah, I can't get past that. I think it's amazing, and I value that over the undefeated record. And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know.
Yeah, but it's not like Cael's record wasn't against like a bunch of scrubs.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, recency bias because you got to watch Dake and watch the dude he beats. You probably don't know 90% of Cael Sanderson's opponents. You probably don't any of that, so you're just kind of
straight up.
I went back in and I researched these guys, and stats don't lie, my man.
All right, so let's hear who are some of Cael's opponents.
Cael's opponents?
Yeah.
I don't know them off the top of my head, man.
Good research there.
Good research coming from the dude that holds his phone in front of the camera when he's telling us stuff.
Hey, when I got my resource right here, I'm gonna use it.
Oh my God, I'm sorry I didn't memorize the guys.
Earl just
Hit list.
recited most of them and their
Yeah, he read
accomplishments.
them off to you.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, I'm not just gonna copy Earl and say all the stuff that Earl said and try to say it's
That's
my
what I
own.
usually do.
Earl's knowledgeable. Use your resources. When Earl's telling you that it absolutely isn't Cael and Dake, you should listen.
I think as far as another thing for Cael, and you guys can attest to this, is just the pressure that mounts when you've got an undefeated streak, going. And I can imagine 3+ years of undefeated, weighing on you.
Yeah, that's what happened to Gable.
Yeah, you can see like his interview after winning that 4th title. He was like relieved. He's not a media guy anyways, but he's kind of just relieved it was all over. So, that's a crazy feat.
I definitely agree with that. And like even when we had when Greg Jones was on, I don't know if it was on this show, if it was on Earl's show a while back, the interview I was listening to, I think it was yours. He talked about, he won a title his freshman year. He was undefeated. I think he was undefeated, right?
I think he might have lost once or twice his freshman year. Yeah.
Either way, like, I think it's the same. That my argument just collapsed on itself. It wasn't the undefeated argument, but it was the 4-timer argument, which I think is kind of similar with the pressure mounting, right? He said the pressure kind of got to him in his sophomore season. So I think, 4-time plus undefeated. I mean, that's got to be an incredible amount of pressure. And, like I said, I'm going to stick to Dake being my 1, but after that, I think Cael's easily right there for me for my number 2. And for me, I hate even saying number 2. I think it's 1A and 1B. I think they're so close. It's just what I particularly value.
He's teetering.
I'm not teetering.
He's close.
He's
close.
I don't teeter.
Yeah.
I'm not teetering.
I'm waiting for your day where you finally can just be like, yeah, you know what? You guys are right. One day it's going to happen, Jacob. Obviously not today, but
I don't know. We talk for another 15 minutes. We might break him.
I stick by my picks, and you will not break me. Will not, dude. I also put a lot of value and a lot of emphasis on Dake choosing to go up that last year to wrestle Taylor, right? I mean, dude could have easily stayed down at 157 and won a 4th title and sailed off in the sunset, but extra emphasis on going up to wrestle one of the greatest college wrestlers in the sport at the time, and looking back over the last decade for sure. I think that's something to be said for sure.
If Dake doesn't bump up and the match with Bubba Jenkins re-wrestled, David Taylor could be possibly our GOAT right now.
For sure. Absolutely.
With another Hodge trophy as a junior.
I think he is. I think if you go that other way, I agree. Because I think that he wins. Yeah, I would put him as many Hodge trophies as Cael if he wins 3. And then if he won 4.
And then recency bias would kick in big time. He wouldn't win 4 Hodges because he was like the 3.
I mean, four titles.
Yeah, 4 titles, 3 Hodges.
Burroughs won it his freshman year.
Yeah, no chance would they pick it over Burroughs.
Yeah.
But the guy from Virginia spoiled it all.
Yep. Virginia Beach. What is it? Is that 757?
That's 757.
Dude, people are so obsessed with their area codes in Virginia.
Yeah.
Nova, bro. Are you a Nova guy?
I used to be 703, but I'm 540 now.
Oh no. See, you just know places by their area code in Virginia.
Yeah, they got a new one. They got a new one coming too. Something that starts with an 8.
Oh wow! Oh yeah, great.
Big deal.
Y'all are weird.
I went to orientation and everyone was like, "Are you from the 757?" And everyone was like, "Yeah!" And I was like, "What the heck did I get myself into?" 214.
Yeah, y'all are weird. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're not going to agree, so I guess we might be kind of at the
Dude,
close of our
Jacob's gonna
debate.
get like next time he gets in this conversation, he's gonna be like, "Cael is the
Dude,
man."
I
Cael
have-
number one.
I have not wavered. I have not wavered in the last since Dake won his fourth.
Okay, well, I
I've
will
not.
say that in this conversation alone, you went from Cael from number 2 to 1B.
I believe oh my God. I said that within like 10 seconds of each other because I wanted to put emphasis on Cael. It's incredible, dude. But like, correct me if I'm wrong. Does A come before B in the alphabet?
Hey, when you go 1A,
Yeah,
1B, those are first place, right?
I don't think we got that
There's
far.
not two first places. Oh, did you see
Tried to
that?
go with.
Oh my God, it did not. All right, 1 and 2. Damn it. There you go.
Dude, I've got Dean Heil, my number 1. Tony,
right.
Thank Jacob. Dean House.
I swear to God.
We should actually throw him in the combo. 2-time champ.
I would pick a new sport to follow if y'all were serious. I would just 100% dive into like freaking croquet or something. I don't know. I'll be done with this. Something just. I would.
There's more money there.
We can get into the list of like top 10 things I'd rather be doing than watching Dean Howe wrestle.
That would be funny. That would be really funny.
I think half of them aren't appropriate for the show. So a little manscaping and
stepping
such.
on Legos, watching paint dry.
Those are all in there. All in there. Legos might be high on that list. I would rather I'd rather run a mile on Legos.
A mile?
Yeah, I'll do it.
No chance.
I'd rather do that than I would watch said wrestler wrestle.
That's the next fundraiser for the Wisconsin RTC.
Yeah, we'll get you out here, Jacob. You can do that live for us.
Watch Jacob run a mile on Legos.
It's gonna be. Guess
the time and the injuries.
Yeah. And injuries. Oh my God. Yeah. No. Hey, it is what it is. There's a lot of things I'd rather do. But I think we're kind of to the end of this thing, guys. And like I said, I'm not wavering, but neither are y'all. So we still got Seth with Dan Hodge sitting at top of his GOAT rankings. Jack and Earl, I couldn't persuade them to the dark side. They got Cael, and I'm sticking with Dake. So while it was a fun conversation, none of us moved. None of us changed. So
I don't know. I really kind of let y'all formulate my opinions, to be honest. I didn't have like a GOAT going into this.
So Jack was the dude in college that let everybody else do the group work, and he just put his name on it.
Cool. This happened like a couple times for sure. All right, you do this, you do this, you do this, and I'll sit here.
Yeah.
Myself team leader.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was definitely putting a couple of those groups with UGA football players in classes, and they would just put their name on crap and not do anything. It was not very fair, but whatever. Those guys did not make the NFL, so I get the last laugh. All right, well, we'll go ahead and sign off with this thing. I am your man, Jacob Hughley, and I, as always, am very glad to be joined by my guys, Seth, Earl, and Jack. Jack sometimes comes on late, but we do get him. So that's it for us. We'll see you next time.